Hello, and welcome to our minor league match. Our actually first minor league match of 5USC. We have Florida C against Indiana B. Right now, am I by myself? No, I'm not by myself.
No,
Hello.
you are not.
Yeah, and
Hello
I'm with
there.
Blessed, and we don't know
Bless.
anything about these teams.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of a last minute scheduling snafu coming together here
Yes.
as we just scrambled something together real quick for these guys.
Okay, and I believe there were no warm-ups. So I think that they went right into it.
Yes. We are going rather quickly through the bands, it looks like.
We are, and I'm not ready because I didn't know I was going to be commentating this or not. Apple screen work.
Yeah, so it looks like
Let's go.
DT1 band, yeah. So DT1 band coming out from Florida C, and then Easy One coming out from Indiana. Just some quick hate against that reading, and then they're going to follow up with another reading ban on that hidden 2 pick as well. So Indiana B clearly not liking the reading picks in the pool, and then we'll see what Florida has in store for them.
I mean, right off the bat, two low AR bands and a DT1, so not a fan of that consistency. Probably one of the Indiana strengths is that DT1 consistency, high AR DT. I mean, something that most people are very comfortable with, other than like No Mod 1, which No Mod 1 here isn't actually your typical No Mod 1, although it's still aim, still consistency though.
Yeah, this No Mod 1, it's kind of funny because the most prominent, I would say, sort of pattern in this No Mod 1 in our pool here is actually the quince spaced burst pattern that we have in each of those choruses there. I don't know if we'll see it picked this match. Maybe we'll see it picked by Indiana to try and get some, gambling, as they are quite a lower seed compared to Florida. But we'll see what happens in the map picks here.
As Hard Rock 1 is going to be the second ban for Florida C, so getting rid of the more consistency, like actually probably one of the harder maps in the pool, Hard Rock.
That's a little surprising to me.
I think it's fair. It's just you don't want to get consistency. I think the quads or quince you said on the custom No Mod 1. Also, not banning the No Mod 1 based custom map. Would love to see it.
Yeah, it could be a little bit of that too.
Yeah.
We do have our first custom match of the tournament there, so custom map of the tournament there, so maybe don't want to ban that out.
Okay.
So we're gonna see the Fremod 2 pick coming out here, mapped by our very own American mapper and player Rectagon.
Even though this is not his diff, but this is also, the diff is from an American player. Shoutouts to Georgia Stacker for this diff.
Yep. So Fremod 2, bit of an anti-mod pick, CS5 AR8. I think Florida did definitely pick up on the weakness of Indiana over here, seeing that they don't really like the reading, the AR8. So I think it's a pretty clear sign that they're trying to attack that weakness in the roster here. Just waiting on players to fill out the lobby. Looks like we have 3 guys on Indiana already: HLV, D3, and Fitz.
Actually,
and just waiting on one more on the Florida side. Oh, sorry.
So, yeah. D3 and Fitz, they are on the side of Indiana. Slugcat, USA Keek, and HLV are on the Florida side, so we're just gonna wait for the extra swaps out. DT coming in for Indiana, and Sugary, I believe, is also from Indiana. As Gilberte coming in. I'm curious what mods are gonna happen here. Florida, very good all-rounded. They are that seed 8 for a reason here. And starting off with the low AR, AR8 map, someone is going to be struggling on the side of Indiana B here.
Oh, that's for sure. You just know from their ban strategy that they don't have someone who's going to be comfortable on the hidden here.
There is the high chance of a double Hard Rock on the side of Indiana. It is low SR enough that it is very much doable, but who knows?
Yes, 6.5, and we are going to see as we get into the map. The double Hard Rock, just as you predicted on DT and Sugary. for Indiana, and the other teammate, D3, is going to be on the hidden. For Florida, no overmod, just your standard hard rock hidden and no mod, and it's going to be Slugcat, USA Keek, and Joverte for your players on Florida C.
Starting off the
Getting
map,
right into that.
oh, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Exactly. USA Keek and D3 very much a little bit struggles on the hidden here. DT with the first hard rock break. Other than that, everyone is leaning in there. Sugary finding an early break as well. Slugcat finds a break in like first 10 combo of the map, and it's just Joe, the only one with the real full combo here.
Yeah, everyone just taking a little bit of time to ease into the map. We'll see how much they struggle later on. It can be quite jarring to just immediately get in with that CS5 AR8.
And approaching a little bit under the halfway mark of the map, a little bit of tapping there. D3 drops a lot of ag. DT finding a lot of ag breaks as well. And Joe goes Joe, so no combos pretty much on the map here, other than Slugcat with 170. But 200k score lead is pretty difficult here.
Yes, and the map is pretty short. It's already halfway over, and that is going to be quite the score lead for Indiana to try and take back here. They do have decent combos building here on DT and Sugary, but that leading combo from a Slugcat is just a lot. And they're not catching up anytime soon, especially with Sugary breaking there. And DT and Jover are trading as well. Looking quite grim for Indiana on this first pick from Florida.
I mean, the good thing is this is Florida's first pick. And it's the low AR, so you're getting that out the way. D3, honestly, comparing to USA Keek, very good job of countering out on the hidden. It's just the 2 hard rocks. A little bit of a low roll, you would probably say. But, hey. First pick goes to Florida very convincingly. 200k, something you probably don't want to see with this much of a discrepancy in seed, but point is point.
Yes, a point is a point. And I think it is also the minor league, so I don't think we're going to be seeing a ton of FCs on these maps like we would see in the major league, even though Florida C's seed is quite high. So I do expect to see a lot more of these lower scores and just overall lower score differences, even in these dominating wins.
Also, DT, nice act on the hard rock here, only A. Gotta give the credit where credit's due there.
That is impressive. Only 6 misses, and actually Sugary only with 2 misses, finding quite the amount of slider breaks and just dropping act overall, it looks like.
Yeah, as it seems like we're just instantly getting into DT2 here. So the DT1 ban from Florida probably going to come into play here, as DT2 is going to be the first pick. We're getting a little emotional here with some True Blue.
Yep, mapped by our very own Cytosine. We all love Cytosine.
We love our Vaporeon, and not like that.
Very much so, definitely not in any sort of weird ways. Put away the GIFs. And so I did take a look at the qualifier stats, and Indiana B placed 38th out of, I believe it was 72 teams, with quite a decent team score overall, 1.9 million, with a decent spread over their 3 players. So they are looking quite comfortable on this DT2 pick, I would assume.
Oh, you were looking at the overall, like, combined stats. Okay, I was thinking where
I'm
did 70
the...
come from?
Yes, the overall qualifier stats for all 72 teams that participated in the qualifiers. So they're placed 38th out of all the major and minor league teams combined. So quite impressive given their seeding here.
And something they have to go through might be on that tapping.
Yeah, and I think they might be putting up a pretty good fight here. We did see Fitz, Spliffy, and D3 actually playing that pick. So we'll see who actually comes in here for this one. So far we see Fitz, but no Spliffy and no D3 yet.
It doesn't seem like they're going to be out of the lobby anytime soon. I think, we have a good luck half one from HLV, so we're going to see Slugcat, HLV.
It looks like we might just be starting here with these lineups.
Yeah. Also, now I'm looking at the qualifier stats. Not kind of confused now about that DT1 Hard Rock one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, Indiana's DT1 performance wasn't amazing, but it wasn't terrible, so I can kind of understand it as sort of just banning out the lower seed from picking some sort of aim consistency Gamba type pick. You know, I think it's more sort of that angle on the DT1 ban. And we are into the map. It looks like we've started already out here with a couple early breaks from Sugary and Lemurs. Florida still holding the triple FC for now, but it is just the very beginning of the map as we are getting into these 246 BPM DT bursts. Not a lot more than 5 notes. That's about the max we'll see here, especially given this the lower star rating in this early round. And Fitz holding the combo nicely. Lemurs also recovering after that early break.
Yeah, and then 3 FCs on the side of Florida with respective ag, HLV and Slugcat with 96 is pretty much between both of them. Joe holding on to the FC with 87. Both back in the lobby, but still combo game is pretty big here, especially as we are halfway through the map. Lemurs and Fitz 95, 93 respectively, as we get into more finger control circuit finds of 4 chain miss there. Lemurs finding the slider break there, and it's just a Fitz against 3 against 1, and now it's just Joe.
Florida, Sugarcat and HLV just fall.
And now it's just
We're gonna
1
see
to
if
1.
there's enough combo.
I mean, this is slowly going to the side of Indiana here. Recoveries on Sugary and Lemurs, as they did miss a little earlier.
And can they hold? Lemurs and Sugary somehow managing to hold on to that combo. Sugary did seem like he was struggling earlier on, but recovering quite nicely, and Fitz is still holding that FC. They really want Joe over to break so they can really pull ahead with that score lead.
Yeah, but with this accuracy, you have to like somehow find a shit miss. Like, I'm not gonna try to curse it, but you're 86% ag on a DT2, lowest ag in the lobby, and you are just the last hope of Florida right now. But it might not be enough. Wait, there might be enough time, even if he does hold on.
Right into the ending section of the map here, too.
1K?
Last
Combo
seconds.
advantage? Is it? Spin?
There's spin to win. And no, it's not going to be
16K?
enough.
That was
What a
close.
small margin for Florida to take that break point.
That was basically on the second and third player accuracy differences. 2% between. Even though Joe has 87, FC is FC, man. Respect it.
Basically. I mean, the axe on these 2 supporting combos from Sugary and Lemur is just not being able to match what Slugcat and HLV put up there with 600k range respectively for them, and just Sugary falling into the 500k range.
What? Hey, we got a match.
We did have a match here. That was certainly a match.
And I'm gonna say Nomad 2 is probably gonna be next up for Indiana V, and that one's gonna be as close, if not even better.
Yeah, let me actually go ahead and check the scores on Florida for that Nomad 2 in qualifiers.
Nomad 2 for qualifiers, it was 899k compared to 1.3 mil. Granted,
okay, so
Nomad 2 was a little different than this one, but
yeah, the qualifiers Nomad 2 was definitely just tapping stamina and flow aim all the way through from start to finish. There were no real significant rests that you got in the tapping here over in the qualifiers pool. But this Nomad 2, quite a bit of just normal aim consistency to break up a lot of the flow aim. We don't really have any long streams coming at you one after another per se. It's a lot of shorter streams, maybe around 9 to 13 notes, maybe 16 at max, and then very much so broken up by those reverse sliders as well. But we are going to seeing Florida's pick next. It's the Nomad 3. Arguably the hardest map in the pool, actually, with the swing rhythm. Going to be very difficult for any of these players to act, I would imagine. And then also, of course, there is the aim element. It's going to be alt aim. It's going to be flowy with a little bit of snappiness towards the end. But we're really going to be looking out for those 1/3 flow aim patterns that sort of happen at each of the little mini climaxes of the song.
And I don't know if you saw the first match earlier between New York and Mississippi. I mean, New Jersey and Mississippi. Oh my gosh, where did I get New York from? Rain. But yeah, this map is hard to act, and individuals will have to show up for this one. If someone can get like a 400k, 500k, perfect, I would say.
Yeah, if you can just string together combos and hit those really hard 1/3 patterns at the end of each little mini section, you're going to be able to string together a lot of combo, and then there's a lot of solo carry potential from that.
Yeah. As it looks like we are awaiting the third player for Florida to see. We have Slugcat and Jill at the moment, Sugary, Lemurs, and Fitz. Pretty much, I think they were all in for that DT2.
Yeah, Indiana not changing the lineup yet. Florida C just changing one player out. That's going to be HLV for Big Boy on this pick. And we have seen Fitz playing all 3 maps so far. I believe Slugcat and Jover have also played all 3 maps so far.
Yeah, so it's... yeah, Sugary, and then Jover. Yeah, and Slugcat. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe Sugary was in for the first map, but anyway, Big Boy coming in for his first map.
No,
match, and we are going to get right in here.
Yeah, they played the Hard Rock on the first map, so 3 perma lobbies so far.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, getting right in here. Very joyful song here we have. And let's be on the lookout for that ACK. Already seeing multiple 80s here on Lemur. Well, actually now just climbing over 80%, as I was saying. Lemur and Big Boy. And Slugcat actually looking very comfortable on this pick. He was hovering around 97, 98 ACK, while the rest of the lobby is just miles behind him.
That was the first like spaced out alt pattern. Everybody does hit it. Fitz did find an early break on the quad alt pattern, finding another break right there. But 5 FCs are still on the board, and very respective acts too. 96s, 95s, 94s. It's just...
yeah, just seems to be Fitz struggling on the fill here, perhaps.
And swing alt's not the easiest to act, so...
Yep. Another big flow pattern right there, a little bit smaller. And there's another one, everyone hitting both of those. So we are hitting all of these flow patterns so far as we go into the first chorus here. And Big Boy drops a chain miss right into there. That's one of the patterns that I was talking about, those little 6-note flow aim patterns at the mini climaxes.
And Lemur still traded out a little bit afterward, missing on the double, probably it's raining or something, because he tapped the slider perfectly fine, but everything else...
not really. And we're seeing a lot of people breaking there on that next pattern. Fitz, Sugary, and Big Boy all breaking, half the lobby gone. But we are seeing Slugcat and Jover still look fairly comfortable on this pick. 2 full combos, the only 2 remaining full combos in the lobby.
I mean, at this point, 2 full combos, 300k difference, you're kind of just securing this one. A little bit halfway. It's hard to, like, it would be very hard for Indiana to come back from this.
Yep, the map is a little bit longer, so there is time before the score lead really just skyrockets, but just not having a combo on Indiana's side, and with Slugcat and Jover looking as comfortable as they are, again hitting that another 6-note flow alt pattern. As I say that, it's just looking very grim for Indiana here.
Sugary finding a break at that 6-noter. Fitz finding a slider break there. It's just Lemurs, but still 2 FCs up and strong. Actually, this is a really stupid score by Florida C. And
yeah, 2 players already over 500k.
Yeah.
Quite an impressive score, especially for minor league teams here.
I said earlier, a 500k can just solo carry the performance, but they're looking for a double FC here.
Oh, okay, both players breaking on the last note of that pattern there.
My bad.
But still a 600k score lead. I simply don't think there's enough of the song left for Indiana to make a comeback. Only 25% of the map and counting. As we are seeing the client lag a little bit, and
Sugary
is gonna drop.
Did not want to play the rest of the map, I guess.
I guess so. Or either that or the turning client just being weird. as we know, that can happen sometimes. But yeah, just no combo remaining on Indiana's side, and we're just going to see Florida quite comfortably close this out with two quite impressive scores from Slugcat and Jover to really assert dominance on this pick of theirs.
I mean, unironically, that's probably going to be one of the highest scores that we're going to see this weekend, in my opinion. Well, these 2 weekends, since next week is the same pool. But good job.
Yeah, very good scores from Florida here on this quite difficult pick of the pool.
One miss on Slugcat at the last note after I said they would probably look for the double FC. Joe finding a brick a little bit afterwards. And that is a 3-0 start for Florida here.
Yep, just winning 2 of their own picks and then taking a narrow break point off of Indiana. Hopefully we can see another tapping pick coming out of Indiana, see if they try and punish what they perceive to be that weakness of Florida based on their scouting and whatnot. But we will see what's up as the players decide on their next pick in a moment.
Looking at the MP link, yeah, Sugary just flat left the lobby. Just did not want to play with it.
Just crashing out.
I would say valid crash out, but at the same time, it's like, come on.
It's not what you want to see in a round of 32 match when you've only played 3 maps so far. And it looks like we have an FM1 pick coming out. So going for another free mod pick, or going for the other free mod pick rather.
Yeah.
Old style Val 0108 map.
This map is very difficult on Hard Rock. So good luck, Hard Rock players.
I would actually say this map is just difficult overall. I know people were saying that it's a little too low of a star rating for this pool, but I actually found it strangely difficult, and I think that just might be because of the mapping style of these Val 0108 maps. But yeah, if you have anything you'd like to add on that.
Wait, people said this is too hard? I haven't read feedback channel. So.
No, sorry. People were saying it was too easy in the pool reveal stream when it came out, I believe.
Very much. I mean, this is for a lot of people think it's a DT. I mean, can DT it in this tournament? But I don't know. I'm not going to comment more. But allegedly, according to D3, Sugary lost to Wi-Fi apparently due to a thunderstorm in Indiana.
Oof.
That's probably just your best player just gone.
That is quite unfortunate.
Maybe it comes back. I don't know how they do there in Indiana in terms of thunderstorms.
Yeah, and also just praying that it doesn't affect any of the other players. Like,
that's actually
I don't know how close all of them are together, proximity-wise, but Indiana, relatively smaller state in terms of just square footage, square mileage.
Also, I guess I'll say this. I don't believe anyone is going to do this though, but easy multiplier is 2.3x. So if you do see an easy, it's just whatever their score times 2.3x. I don't know if it's actually calculated in overlay since it was not played in the other match. So we'll also see if that's actually there.
Alright, well, I'm sure the ref will know what to do with it in the lobby. They'll see the score and be able to determine who wins or not, who wins, who loses. And it looks like we have GLHFs in chat, and we are going into the map. So double hard rock actually on DT and Sugary again, as it looks like Sugary did manage to recover.
Welcome back, Sugary.
Yep. And the hidden for D3. And just your normal hard rock and hidden on the side of Florida. Big boy on the hard rock, HLV back in again for the hidden.
Wait,
seems to be his comfort mod.
Double hard rocking this? What? Okay, Indiana.
Yeah. I mean, it is their pick. They must certainly be feeling comfortable and confident on it. I would think, if they're going for this double hard rock.
That's just ambitious, considering hard rock 2 is open. You lost gamble on the double hard rock and Fremont 2, and you just lost an alt map. Maybe they're. I see them cooking though, because DT is cooking right now on the hard rock comparing to Joe. on the Nomad with 98%. Big Boy finding a little bit of breaks. HLV finding a little breaks. D3 and Sugar Ray recovering as well. It's just the two big combos between DT and Joe.
Yep, nice recovery combos from everyone else backing them up fine, and we're seeing just a narrow score margin of less than 40k as we head into this first break section after the first chorus.
I'd say 60k isn't that bad right now, especially with Joe finding a break right there. Big Boy does find another one. D3 trades it out. Sugary finds a break too. And it's just DT and HLV, the hidden versus the hard rock on the top of your screens right here.
Yep, just a little bit of mod advantage going to be here for DT, as he is on that hard rock. A little bit of a multiplier advantage compared to hidden on the score V2, of course.
And there goes
HLV finds a break.
But DT trades
it right away.
And that's a
there's no supporting scores for Indiana.
So now it's just Joe because Big Boy finds a break right there, and it's just the Nomad coming in, the secure Nomad to hold on to the combo, bring that score lead a little more than the 100k it is right now. D3 shake, what? Calm down, little. Okay. Oh god.
And just overall not able to string together any sort of combo really on these other players. Just DT really putting up that decent combo earlier, but if you look at the other two, 100k score on Sugary, 130k on D3, and then you just see the triple 200k for on the side of Florida. They also seem to be struggling on this map a bit as well. Lots of combo breaks here, no one really able to string anything over 400. And as I say that, HLV is going to cross the 400 threshold. We'll see how much longer he can hold for. That he is actually, I did miss him. On the hard rock too, quite impressive considering how you noted before we started hard rock. It's quite difficult on this map. And we are coming into this last chorus. All of a sudden there is a 300k score difference in the favor of Florida. It looks like they're going to be taking another breakpoint here, as Indiana just has no more combos left, and there is very little map left to go.
Lack of map remaining, but Big Boy just gonna take that top score away from HLV there at the end with a very good 800 combo, but around 450k in the end, unless they find a miss like very soon.
Yeah, just shutting me up casually. I said earlier that no one was getting a good combo, and he just casually chained together 800, maybe 900 going into the ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Match point for Florida, and double hard rock gamble not looking that good. Instantly leaves understandable crush out.
Yep. And the real heart crusher here is that was Indiana's pick, and Florida has the next pick to close the match out 5-0. So we'll see what they pick here. Indiana throwing away perhaps an opportunity to pick a Nomad 2 and try and exploit the tapping. As we saw, there looked like there's some opportunities on the DT2 pick earlier.
Yeah.
In the match, but going for this free mod 1 pick, not going to work out on the double hard rock.
I mean, good thing is you're not out of the tournament. You still have a lower bracket to go through, so there's nothing
there is the lower bracket.
On the other hand, you just have to go through that lower bracket, and it's just going to be tougher. And I mean, it's going to be an easy first match most likely, and then it gets harder and harder again.
I would say the real exhausting part, or rather the real draining part, perhaps more so mentally than physically, is having to play 2 matches per weekend at some point.
Oh, that is also
once
true.
The bracket gets a lot more dense. As you are playing in that lower bracket, you have to play multiple matches per week in order to keep up with the upper bracket schedule.
As we are awaiting Hawaii, but where did Hawaii? Oh my gosh, brain! Why am I confusing states? Florida's. Where am I getting? Florida's last pick. Dude, I'm lost.
Fairly tropical climates, sure. Fair enough confusion.
Fair enough confusion. No, I'm just looking. I'm looking at the bracket and I'm seeing who they are possibly against. And winner of this is either going. Winner/loser of this is going against either Texas C or Hawaii A. There you go.
Okay, Texas C or Hawaii.
Wait. Yeah, Texas C or Hawaii A.
I mean, I can definitely imagine who they'd rather face in there, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. It is still only 4-0. at the moment.
I've seen the Indiana reverse sweep before.
If it's gonna happen, it's gotta start now, and it's gonna be a Nomad 4 pick, the Slider Tech map song from Fauna, artist who previously actually did another Nomad 4 song for the OWC, in fact, a couple years back. If anyone remembers that. Or sorry, rather, that was Fauna was the song name. ZXNX is the artist name. I believe in collaboration with another artist here. And we are going to see the lobby filled out by the players. It looks like we have everyone in here. Jover and Slugcat in still for Florida, and HLV in as well. And then we're just going to see this trio of DT, Sugary, and Lemurs again, I believe. And yep, we are ready to get right into the potentially final map of the match. Florida versus Indiana. 4-0. Map 5. Can Indiana start their comeback here? If it's going to happen, it has to start here and now. A rather slow beginning to this song at the start.
Yeah.
As we sort of build up tension here.
It does slow down at the start, but accuracy is something to look at with these sliders. Who follows them, who doesn't. There are some slider ticks that are very much cheesable, but oh my gosh, Slugcat with the cursor dance base. Oh, okay, deserved.
And immediately pays the price for that one. Breaking on some sort of flowing pattern. It looks like an HLV also going to follow that up with a break, so only Joverte with the full combo remaining for Florida as we see a triple FC on Indiana for now. But we are yet to get into the hardest patterns of the map as we slowly start to approach them.
I mean, these are basic attack patterns of the map, as sliders are going to be followed through by the side of Indiana. Joe does find the last break on Florida in terms of FCs. And it's just the two FCs on DT and Sugary, both very comfortable actually. 98s between both players. Slugcat does find another side break. HLV2, Lemurs does trade it out. And going off of this first side, first Ki, all on Indiana.
Everything is turning up heads for Indiana here on this 5th map of the match. So we see a little bit of a cursor art from the Florida side. Still holding those combos, and we'll see how much of a gap they can create, how much of a score lead Indiana can build before another break comes in.
I mean, this is a fairly free combo section right here, so any break is gonna make this score lead go a little more than the 200k right now. But recoveries are not as good as you would think. 400, 300, and then Slugcat versus Lemurs here. What?
Yeah, Lemurs breaking on nothing.
No, he let go of the slider too early. It might not make the difference here because we are going into another Ki section. But a quarter of the map, you're all reliant on Sugary as DT just find the side break.
250k closing down to 200k is the gap here. Sugary still holding on to that FC. Nearly approaching 500 score, and he finds a break.
Finds the slider break, but so does everybody else but HLV.
HLV follows it up, and there's no more combo left in the lobby. Only Slugcat slowly climbing back, trying to build up a recovery, as DT is trying to do the same for Indiana. But we still see this 200k score lead for Indiana.
Almost, I mean, everybody but Lemurs finding a break on Indiana right there. HLV and Joe do have somewhat of a recovery, but 200k is a little bit too much here, as going into the slowing ending section. Still breaks from Slugcat, but I don't think there's enough time. And Indiana is going to get their first point against Florida C here. Most likely, unless somehow the thunderstorm takes out someone's power.
that would certainly be quite the travesty, another thunderstorm hitting Sugary's power. But no, as we go into the final sliders, it is a 150,000 score lead for Indiana B as they find their first break point against Florida C on quite the unconventional pick, perhaps. A bit of a, you don't typically associate tech with one of the more conventional slots. It is a bit more on the gimmicky side, you could say. And quite a surprising place for Indiana to find the first break point here, staying alive in the match barely.
And right
And it will be that
Nomad 2.
Nomad 2.
Right in.
It will be that Nomad 2 pick for Indiana. Gonna try and look to punish on this tapping weakness that they scouted out on Florida's side. And we'll see who comes in for this Nomad 2 pick here. I would assume it's the same players as the DT2.
I'm just saying Nomad 5 is a speed map, or technically a tapping map. That can be your next pick right there, Indiana.
Technically a tapping, yes.
And then Florida loses their next pick. And then we're right into tiebreaker.
That would be quite insane. From
Pacers
4-0 to 4-4.
Pacers in 9, aka Indiana B. Agreed? Agreed. The reverse sweep. As we are having, I don't believe anyone realistically swapped. They were actually which one?
D3 is out for Fitz.
Yeah. DT for Fitz. Joe's looking at HLV still in.
Yeah, looks like Florida's keeping their same roster as last map, and then Indiana's just bringing in all their players who played DT2, I believe. Fitz, Sugary, and Lemurs again on the tapping.
Mm-hmm.
Now, just to bring some more specific details to this context regarding the tapping, Florida C placed 54th out of all 72 teams in the qualifiers on Nomad 2. Now, again, we did say earlier that this is a bit of a different kind of tapping pick compared to the Nomad 2 that we had in qualies. That was really just tapping all the way through. Here, there's a little bit of, in this Nomad 2, there's a bit more breaks between the streams, as you'll see. And we're actually about to get right into it, so you can just wait and see until then.
Yeah, and we also got a last second swap. Ace on Osu coming in for their 5USC debut. Oh, that is cursor shake you do not want to see at the start of a map. Dude. Bro, you got this. As Joe's going to be on the bench for this one. And we're going to start off slow.
Probably coming in for that tapping pick. Yeah, it does have a bit of a slower opening, 182 BPM, I believe, from the editor. And then it's going to go right up to 194 in a second here.
Yeah.
And we are off to the races. As you can see, lots of tapping. There's actually a decent amount of flow aim here, as well as snap aim. As you can see, these streams and little tapping sections spaced out between slider jumps. And we're going to see a first break on that first little longer stream by Ace and Slugcat here. Discomfort already showing on the side of Florida on this tapping pick.
And Ursula, very much a big act advantage. Sugary misses on a double on a jump, but it doesn't matter too much considering HLV's breaking on the slider on my stream map. I was gonna say there's like a solid act advantage, but I guess we're breaking on everything here as we get into more streams.
If you just look at the comfort difference, look at Lemurs sitting at 98% act as we approach this first chorus here. Fitz also holding combo, a little bit lower act, 94, but still quite good for this lobby.
Nobody getting caught by the slow slider as we get into more streams around 5 to 10 12 notes each. No one finding breaks there. Fit finds a slider break. Sugary finds a little bit of an understream, and this score lead is slowly going back to Florida with 3 very big recovery combos compared to Lemurs' FC.
Yeah, Lemurs is going to need a little bit of support, especially from Fitz here. Sugary doing quite well in a recovery combo of his own, 600. So managing to match HLV, but Ace and Slugcat both on 800 combo recoveries right there. And they really need something out of Fitz. They really need Fitz to hold together some combo here. We are going into a bit of a guitar solo section. So look to see, I believe this little mini section is actually quite free on the combo side.
It is a bit, but who knows? Someone can miss on the jump, hold on a slider too long. Things like that can catch players off, as everyone actually does hit that section fairly fine. As
Sugary breaking right out of it.
Oh, Sugary breaks. That's not it. as
Yep,
score rate
and-
did swap to Florida. It is growing. It's hitting that 100K mark. And HLV finding a slider break is a start for Indiana to get one back, but Lemurs is finding a slider break.
And they are praying as they go into this break session. They're going to see the scoreboard, and they're going to see that Ace and Slug are on 2 huge recovery combos, and they're going to be praying that one of them breaks in this last course, this last TI section.
The 2 combos that broke in the beginning of the map on for the reverse choke here. I don't know if we're going to be seeing some shakes at the end of this map here. Fitz is the only one for Indiana that can hold on. 200K. Ace finds the slider break. Fitz is still holding on. Slugcat still with the recovery. But the biggest one out there needs to break like right now for any chance for Indiana to come back here.
And not only that, Fitz also has to just hold on to this combo of his for any chance of anything happening. And as we exit that last TI section, it's just the ending of the song. I don't think there's enough time for anything to happen. Slugcat will break,
yeah, but it's too late.
Nearly 300,000 combo score in the favor of Florida. There's just not enough map left. Indiana's reverse sweep will be stopped in its tracks right away.
There was a hope in the beginning
and as we
of the
go
map,
through these ending streams.
but as the song ends, so were the winners bracket run for Indiana V, as they will be taken down to the losers bracket, and Florida will continue on.
Yep, decent performance from the Indiana players. 500K on a couple of them. Sugary also putting up a decent score, but it's not enough for these 2 recoveries on Florida.
It's only finding slider breaks throughout the map. That was like 4 slider breaks. Very unfortunate. But
yep,
good show. I would say good showing for what they had brought. Taking a Nomad 4, a map that they got like 800K overall in qualifiers, and then
yeah, that
showing up on the
presence.
tapping maps. So
yep, contesting their 2 tapping picks and putting up a good showing, even taking a break point on the Nomad 4, because remember that was Florida's pick to try and close out the match 5-1, but nope. Florida will be closing out 5-1 against Indiana Beat.
let's give them their well-deserved win screen. Congratulations, Porter C, for winning this one. HLV, Slugcat, Big Boy, Joe, USA Keek, and Ace on Osu for winning this one. You guys will be continuing on to the winners bracket, going most likely between Texas C and Hawaii A. I don't know about that one, but you know, that's going to be a banger. The match after is going to be a good one too. I think that's going to be the last match of this weekend here. The next match is like Wednesday 1 UTC or something like that.
It's Wednesday 2 UTC, and that's going to be New York C against Georgia C. So I would say fairly interesting match, given their 2 A teams and what's going on over there up in the major leagues.
I mean, it's same thing
so
with their
we'll see how
B teams too. Like both of their B teams are very good. So
yeah, so we'll see how deep their talent pools go over Wednesday 2 UTC.
And other than that, you got any last words?
No, I think that's all. Just thanks for coming in here last minute, putting together whatever kind of jank we somehow managed to make on this last minute cast.
Hey, it was damn good, I gotta say. So other than that, yeah, thank you for coming, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday night, or yeah, Tuesday night. On
yep, Tuesday night for the Americans.
See you guys.
All right, we'll see you next time.